Hi there everybody, this is David, and the year is halfway over, but that doesn't mean that we're out of good games to think about and talk about and games that are coming up. So I wanted to invite a whole bunch of my friends on over and ask them what games are they looking forward to by the end of this year. And if you want to join my party and keep up with all these great videos, then make sure that you hit that sub button and you can level up with me. So before we get started, wait, what was that? Oh, my Game Boy is ringing. I better answer this. Hello?
David? What's up, man? I heard you hit 100,000 subscribers. Let's go, boy! That is awesome. Congrats, dude. Seriously.
David, congrats on 100,000 subscribers. You are such an inspiration to all of us. We are super proud of you. Keep going. We love it.
Hey David, this is Nishquick. Congratulations on 100k subscribers, and thank you so much for being a great inspiration to all of us content creators in the JRPG space. Here's to 200k. Keep it up.
Congratulations on 100,000 subscribers, David.
Hey David, can I just say congratulations, buddy. You did it. You made it to 100k subs on YouTube, and I am super proud of you, so well done you.
David, happy 100,000th birthday. Congratulations on 100,000 subscribers. It is a well-deserved triumph.
Hey David, congrats on 100k. So happy for you, man.
Hello, and well done on the 100k subs, David. What an achievement.
Congratulations, David, on hitting 100k. I'm looking forward to seeing you go onwards and upwards.
David, you beautiful man. Congratulations on 100,000 subscribers. You truly deserve it, my man.
Hi, David. Slam-zany here, and I just want to give you a huge congratulations for hitting 100,000 subscribers. This is a major milestone, and it couldn't have happened to a better person. I'm so happy for you.
Hey David, huge congratulations on 100,000 subscribers, woo!
David, congratulations on 100k subscribers. That is incredible. You have been an inspiration to me from the beginning of my YouTube journey, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
What's up, David? Congrats on 100k, man. That's a huge accomplishment. Proud of you. Here's to 200k and beyond.
100,000. 100,000. Congrats, Steve. That's not a shot, is it?
Oh, that was so sweet. That was so nice of them. Oh, thank you so much. That just moved me. That just moved my heart. Thank you so much. So now let's hear from some of these people and talk about what games they are so looking forward to.
Hiya everyone, your Auntie Lexi here. I'm sorry if you're just seeing B-roll of my face today, but I'm getting ready for a thing, and really wanted to send this over to David because he's one of my closest and bestest YouTube pals. I was the one who told him to hold off on releasing this video because you'll never know what you'll see at not E3. And I was right, which is exactly how I'm proudly able to talk to you about one of my most anticipated games of the coming year, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. And I can confidently say that after several years of making remakes and remasters, Square Enix truly are the masters at it. The Ivalice Chronicles, much like Tactics Ogre Reborn years ago, is being overseen by its original director Yasumi Matsuno. And for the first time ever, it's going to be fully voice acted in English and Japanese. But that's not all. It's going to have the option to change the camera to an overhead tactical view like Tactics Ogre Reborn. And you'll also be able to get Cloud earlier, as well as more useful UI, autosaves, an easier difficulty, battle speed options, and more. And if you're a purist, you can just play the original, which is a part of this package. I can go on and on about all of these features, but I think you get the picture. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the most beloved tactical JRPGs of all time. And finally, everyone will be able to enjoy it. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is coming out on September 30th on modern PlayStation and Switch platforms, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And if you want to support one of the very few trans people making thoughtful videos in the JRPG space, head on over to BacklogBattle and hit subscribe. Your Auntie Lexi baked brownies for anyone who does.
What's up everyone, David here. I'm excited to be on David's channel. I guess that can be a little confusing, But today I want to talk about my most anticipated game, or the most exciting game that is set to release for the rest of 2025. And I'm mostly known for Atlas stuff. I do Atlas coverage and I'm a huge Atlas fan, but today I want to focus on a title that isn't by Atlas that I'm very much looking forward to. And it's a game that I played in 2020 on PlayStation 4 when it first released. That is the remake for Final Fantasy VII. FF7 obviously does not need an introduction, classic title, but what they did here with the remake is extremely solid, and the version of the game that I'm looking forward to is the Switch 2 Intergrade version of FF7. I have not played the new content in the Intergrade version because I played the original on PS4. I am a huge fan of portable and handheld play, so I'm looking forward to playing the new content that was added in the remake. I just love everything that they did with it. Visually, it's stunning. The music, I don't feel the need to say anything about that. It's perfect. It's perfect for sure. And the combat is right up my alley. I loved it so much, and I've heard only good things about the new content in the Intergrade version of FF7 Remake, so very excited for that one. It is set for winter of this year, so hopefully sooner. That would be great. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, Lexi and David. It's always good to hear about some great Square Enix titles. But now, let's hear about some great Falcom titles from Paige and Brandon.
Hey everybody, it's femtrooper, and thank you, David, for having me on today to talk about a game that I am really looking forward to in the second half of 2025. It's coming up, and that is Trails in the Sky First Chapter, the remake that's coming out. I am really excited for this, and you might be like, oh, why? Because I didn't like Trails of Cold Steel. Yes, I know, I started with that, didn't do it for me, and so I've never gotten into the Trails series, but the reason is I feel like Sky will get me into the Trails series because I've heard it's a great place to start because it's the first one, and it looks like a femtrooper game because it's like going on a big adventure with fun characters, looks very bright and colorful, really just looks like my thing. So I want to try it. I'm very convinced and very optimistic that it will be my thing. Friends have told me I will like it, so I'm very hopeful, okay? I'm so excited. I really want to like it because the Trails series is so huge, and I do like getting into big series because it's like you have so much to look forward to. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very optimistic. I'm gonna like it. I can't wait. Thank you again, David, for having me on today, and I hope to see you guys over at my
Hey friends, it's Brandon from JustTheGems. Thanks so much, David, for having me on. The past couple of years have been monumental for JRPG lovers, and honestly even more so for fans of the Trails series. This year alone, we're getting 4 games. Trails Through Daybreak 2, that one already came out, the Trails in the Sky First Chapter Remake, East vs. Trails Alternative Saga, and Trails Beyond the Horizon. As excited as I am for all the other Trails games still to come this year, Trails Beyond the Horizon is the one I'm looking forward to the most. This series has done a masterful job of telling a long, ongoing story for over 20 years now, and it's clear from recent entries that things are reaching a climax. Beside the story, which I've been a fan of since the beginning, I absolutely love the new direction the combat system has taken in the most recent entries. The Trails series started combining action combat with its traditional turn-based system, and the result is basically 2 excellent battle systems that work in harmony with each other. You can start a battle out in action mode, whittling away at an enemy's HP, and then when you've stunned them, jump into turn-based to continue the fight with an advantage. There are apparently even more refinements to the combat system in Beyond the Horizon, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Falcom cooked up for us. I'll definitely be sad when this series is over. It's my favorite long-running series for a reason, for a lot of reasons actually. And honestly, I kinda never want it to end, but Falcom is committed to telling their story, and I'm pretty confident they'll be able to stick the landing when all's said and done. Trails Beyond the Horizon is the first big step toward that conclusion, and I'm insanely excited to get my hands on it.
Those are some great picks. I absolutely adore the Trails series. I have ever since, I think it was 2010 when I picked Trails in the Sky in front of a GameStop. I stood in line waiting for it to open in order to grab my version for the PSP, and now we've come full circle and it's getting a remake, and then the next one in the next arc is coming out Beyond the Horizon. Brandon, though, did not know at the time of the recording that it has been delayed until January for a Switch 2 version. I know. But, I mean, that just gives us more time to play. We don't have to get rushed through Trails in the Sky. Now we can take our time and have more trails in the winter time. So that's really cool. Always good to hear about some Falcom games. But now let's hear about some Bandai Namco games.
Hey, it's Emily from Orbalology, and can I just say the new Digimon Stories game, Time Stranger, looks absolutely amazing from what they've shown us so far. It really looks like they're taking everything they've learned from the previous games and just cranking it up to the next level, especially visually, and potentially making it into one of the best RPG monster taming games we've ever seen. From all the amazing 3D models, the English voice acting, and just creating a lived-in digital world that is not just some sort of blue hallway you run down, is really just turning it into the Digimon game of my wildest dreams. And I also really appreciate how clean the new combat UI looks. It's just perfect for the party-driven, classic turn-based formula that we see in these monster taming RPGs. And it's also gonna, I think, really show off those new cel-shaded models. The game is coming out on October 3rd, which unfortunately is competing with Pokemon, but I really think this game has the potential to become one of the best RPG releases of the year, whether you're a Digimon fan or not a Digimon fan. But I am really looking forward to learning more about the story and all the new characters they're introducing in this entry, and of course all the Digimon that we'll be able to digivolve and utilize in this highly anticipated monster taming RPG.
2025 has already been an amazing year for JRPGs, and we still have a ton left to be excited about. First, I want to give a huge shout out to David for having me on to talk about a game I'm really excited for in the back half of 2025. And there was one that really stood out to me in Summer Games Fest, and that game is Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. There's something really refreshing about a game that knows exactly what it wants to be. Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree doesn't look like it's trying to chase trends or check genre boxes. It feels really focused and deliberate, and that's exactly why I'm so excited about it. From the first trailer, I was immediately drawn in by the art style. It has this painterly look that you might associate with some more classic style anime, but brought to life with really clean and modern animation. The way the backgrounds move subtly, the lighting shifts as enemies approach, it all looks so appealing. This doesn't just seem like another roguelite to kind of chase that trend. This has real artistic identity here that I like so much. I spent time watching the gameplay overview that Bandai Namco released, and there's a ton to unpack here. You take on the role of Toa, child of the gods and protector of her village. You've been tasked with gathering 8 trusted companions from the village to fight an evil entity that is trying to destroy everything in its path. By the looks of the character design, we have a giant koi fish and a huge Shiba Inu looking bear thing, and yeah, needless to say, I'm sold. I'm all in on this one. Add all that on top of the fact that the presence of the composer of Final Fantasy Tactics completely cements this game for me. I knew when the trailer started the music sounded so familiar. Pairing that kind of soundtrack with the story of a shrine maiden fighting to protect her village from decay feels like the perfect match. If Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree delivers on what it's promising, I think it's going to be one of those games we're still talking about years and years from now. Thanks again, David, for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak on this game, and I hope to see you all on my channel.
Thank you both so much. I am super looking forward to both of those games. They look super freaking cute. But now we have a smattering of all sorts of different RPGs to go over. Some AAA, some Souls-like, and some horror RPGs as well from The Gaming Shelf, Professor Noctis, and HellFireRPGs. Go ahead and take it away.
What's going on, everyone? This is Taylor from The Gaming Shelf, and thanks, David, for having me on to talk about an RPG coming out in 2025 that I'm excited about. And the one I want to talk about is a game that has been in development for, I think, like a decade, no joke, and that is Lost Soul Aside. And it looks incredible. It's like this mega high-speed action RPG. You're journeying across different worlds and dimensions, trying to save different souls across these dimensions. The combat looks incredible. The visuals look incredibly stunning. And you know what's really wild about this game? I've actually played it. I want to say like 2017 or 2018, they had this game on a demo at the PlayStation Experience, and I'm sure what that game was back then versus what it is now is very different, but I remember it being very challenging, very hard, and very fast, and I just think all of this looks incredible. and they finally have the team they want, and they're finally coming together to fulfill the vision. Because if you look back at the very old footage, a lot of those elements, like the little guy that follows you and flying around, and even some of the character designs, they're all the same. So they've had that same vision for a very long time. So I'm so glad that PlayStation nabbed up this game. They're sticking to the original vision, and they're helping it bring it to the finish line. It looks incredible, and I cannot wait to play it this August. So thanks once again, David, for having me on, and I hope to see you guys over on my channel, The Gaming Shelf.
Hey everyone, HellFireRPGs here. Thanks for having me on again, David. With 6 months down, we are around the halfway point of the year, and the good news is that there's still plenty of amazing RPGs coming our way. It looks like most of this list will be made of JRPGs, but I'm going to be rolling with an upcoming Western RPG that I've been looking forward to for years. Yeah, literally years. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was first announced in early 2019, and while it hasn't been through the ideal development cycle, the good news is it is set for release in October. Hopefully. Now, while incredibly rough around the edges, the original Bloodlines was such a unique, dark, memorable experience, and I cannot wait to experience something similar all over again. Bloodlines 2 is set in Seattle, where vampires secretly rule from the shadows. You play as a 400-year-old elder vampire who awakens from a long slumber to find the city and the vampire society on the brink of chaos. Just like the original game, you can choose from several vampire clans which offer completely different styles, and the choices that you make will shape how the many different factions react to you and how the story unfolds. The whole premise here is really interesting in that you need to feed on humans to survive, yet if you break the masquerade, which is a vampire code of secrecy, there could be deadly consequences. Bloodlines 2 will be a blend of exploration, action, stealth, and many deep narrative choices set in a dark, atmospheric city full of characters from all walks of life and death. The combat will feature action mechanics with an emphasis on timing dodges and attacking with vampire powers such as possession to take control of enemies, hypnosis to compel those to commit suicide, and telekinesis to throw around enemies and objects. Everything about this game ticks the boxes for me, and if it can present a similar but more polished experience as the original, then we are in for an absolute treat. This was HellFireRPGs, and I hope to see you over on my channel soon.
What's up everybody, it's Professor Noctis and I teach through video games, especially RPGs, at both the University of Alabama and on YouTube. And one of my most anticipated JRPGs of 2025 is hands down Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, which drops July 24th. It's a brutal, beautiful, Souls-like action RPG that's set during the final years of China's Ming Dynasty. You're going to play as Wu-Chang, a female pirate with amnesia and a mysterious illness, fighting your way across a land that's been torn apart by plagues and war and a supernatural phenomenon called feathering, whatever that is. Ultimately, this thing mutates people into grotesque monsters, and for anybody that likes a Dark Souls-esque experience, well, you're in luck here because we have some truly grotesque monsters. The gameplay reminds me a little bit more, however, of like a Lies of P than a Dark Souls. So it's that kind of action RPG with weapon upgrades and skill trees and that sort of thing as you progress through the game. The action is fluid, heavy combat. You can wield dual weapons, ancient firearms, and even the power of feathering itself. I got a chance to play it at Summer Games Fest, and I had a great time with my 30 to 45 minutes or so. And I actually managed to beat one of the major bosses, which, to anybody that's played a game like this before, you know that beating those daunting end-game bosses are pretty satisfying. Now, this wasn't an end-game one, but it was end demo, which is close enough, I guess. What really stood out to me, though, in the entire experience was the historical world building. The devs recreated the Lashan Great Buddha, the largest pre-modern statue in the world, standing at 71 meters tall, carved from red sandstone in 8th century Sichuan. They actually visited the real site. The devs consulted with temple staff and they built a to-scale version for the game. That level of detail and cultural respect really sets it apart from me, at least. And so for somebody with my kind of historical and academic lens, this game regardless of the exciting action that comes with it, is definitely one to watch. So, if you want a fresh, meaningful, and deadly RPG experience going into the fall, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers is absolutely one to watch. And we don't have to watch for long, because July 24th will be the launch date, and it is just around the corner.
Thank you so much, guys. Some of those games that they talked about are things that I'm interested in. Some of them aren't. I'll leave it up to y'all to decide, although I will say this, that Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers actually sounded pretty cool. I'm a big old history nerd as well. I taught history for, gosh, over a decade, so yeah, I'm totally into something like that. It does look kind of cool. I might have to check that out, even though normally I wouldn't want anything to do with something like that. Normally I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but he may have just convinced me there, you know? Wade has a way of doing that to me. So anyway, now it's time for my most anticipated game of this year, and to no one's surprise, it is the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. I had a chance to play this a couple of months back. Square Enix invited me on over to their offices over in LA, and I got some hands-on time with these two games. I made a whole video about it, and oh my gosh, y'all, I cannot tell you how good these games are. Now, monsters from Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 are in Dragon Quest 1 and 2. So you get to see all sorts of different monsters. In Dragon Quest 1, you're not just fighting like one-on-one, you're fighting multiple monsters. There are different places to go to, shrines and inns and churches, cutscenes whenever you cross bridges, different characters like the captain of the guard who's out searching for the princess, all sorts of really, really cool stuff, different equipment, different spells. In the second game, all of Alefgard is there. Like, all the towns are there. It's not just Tinkatel and Charlock, you know, everything's there, so you can go to all the different towns. There's new stuff all over the world map. Your party members, like, talk to you. There's new events. There's all sorts of new spells. The Prince of Cannock does not suck. We're getting his sister to come and join at some point in the story. I'm not sure when. And there's even a reference to a Dragon Quest IV remake. They talk about the Zenithal Castle, which, if you know anything about the Erdrick Trilogy, Zenith has nothing to do with the Erdrick Trilogy. So for them to even mention it, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess they're going to be tying that one in. Maybe that remake is coming up too. There's so much there, and I cannot wait to see everything that's there, because I just got a small taste. like a half an hour or so taste of each one, but I really have to experience all of it, and I cannot wait to just kind of hunker down, close my door, and play them for hours on end. Like, it's going to be fantastic, y'all. I cannot wait. But now I want to hear from y'all. What games are you looking forward to most by the end of this year? Are there any games that somebody convinced you to try out and buy? What are you looking forward to? Let's all talk and chat about it in the comments. And as always,
congratulations, Dave, you big gay bitch.